How's it going, Sha?
Hi. Not bad. Not bad.
Amen. Amen. I feel you on that, Sha. You know,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You have taught me of the power of Mercury retrograding.
Right?
I feel like it's been nonstop for like the last 3 weeks for me. You know,
Okay.
Well, we had a mishap trying to record last week's episode.
Right.
Mercury retro. Um, I've
Can I just say, I'm so proud of how quickly you pulled the trigger on no show.
Yo, and can I just say, it ate at me for 2 weeks. Yeah.
So
Shot,
proud of you. I just went great. Fantastic.
real talk. I pulled the plug and then like I was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? For like 2 weeks, anytime it got too quiet in my house, in my life, that's all I thought about. It's like, Gastor, you
Okay.
should have figured out a way to post the episode. So
Okay.
like there's
No.
progress. I made the right decision.
You did. You absolutely did.
But I gotta work on the mental health side of that.
Right. Yes.
But I'm getting there.
You got to give yourself permission to make the tough calls.
Yeah, it was the right call, had a little family thing, took a little longer than expected. And, I had to be there for people. So I did the right thing. But like, yeah, that was not something that was let go easily. Uh like real talk shot, I was like, yo, this is the first time I looked at how to like AI a person. I was like, all right,
Okay, that's a lot.
real
It's
talk.
not that crucial. That's all I want you to know is that it is not that crucial.
Yeah, that's fair.
Something stuff was going wrong and it didn't look like it just needed the space.
Yeah,
And that is, if anything, pushing it would have made it worse.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
So you just have to remember anytime you want to go hard on yourself for not doing that thing, pushing it would have made it worse, and we can't have you in a worse state. Like we don't want you feeling bad in a way that could have been prevented.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, the issue could not have been prevented, but you feeling bad about posting, like not posting like that could be prevented.
yeah, that's the
But
part I'm gonna work on now.
yeah.
I admit there's like value in like uh on occasion saying, hey yo, this ain't the day for it.
Mhm.
And admittedly, like everything about me is like, don't do that. But I'm trying to learn. I think you're right. Smarter people have told me, and I'm trying to like, smarter people than me have told me this a few times now. So I'm trying to learn that.
Mhm.
And then B, I'm trying to be an example. Like my daughter is very similar to me. They're like, yo, everything getting done. So I'm trying to be proof that like you get most things done and most things done all the time, you know, a lot of the time, pardon me, but sometimes life's gonna win. And that's
Right.
okay
Well,
as long as you
okay, first of all, don't think of it as a competition against life. Maybe not
okay.
everything. Yeah, that might be a mindset that you could slowly extract yourself from. Life is not your competitor.
Shot,
life
it took
life is
5 years for
working
me
with
to
you.
it took 5 years for me to not do a pod episode and be like, that's the right decision. Life not competing against me, that we don't got the lifetimes. Me and life are sparring day to day. But I will like I'm trying to do better because I know like I want Michaela to see as possible. But I
Right?
also know that like I say shit just like that. And like I'm starting to notice now that like she's starting to be like, yo, dad is really, really smart, but like I can't trust everything he said, you know?
Good.
And like I'm glad. I was like, good, because like I'm trying, but like there's there's father me and then there's just a dude, you know? And like
Right.
that dude, he's still here. He's trying his best and figuring it out as he goes. I'm gonna share what I know. But sometimes I ain't fact check it yet. I'm just letting you know, hey, I just saw this shit. You should check it out. You know, so yeah, I'm glad she's seeing that there's faults in me.
Mhm.
Um, I'm trying to demonstrate a different approach. I'm keeping the anxiety of those things uh internally, not because it's healthy, but because I don't want her to know that that's what I'm doing. Like I don't want her to think that like that part of it is okay, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
the fact that it bothered me, I don't want her to see that. I just want her to think that like I just made a good decision and you can make
Well,
a good decision.
I mean,
And
I
yeah,
yeah, no, she's gonna I mean, like, you're going to feel like you let yourself down. I think if she sees that you feel like you let yourself down, she should also see you trying to allow yourself the grace.
right.
So I think as much as you can, let her see as much of the process because that's the part that she will take with her because she will see you making these decisions. And I know you want to think that she's thinking, oh, look at my dad making all these good decisions. That is not what she's thinking. Um, she's, a teenager, so she thinks you're insane.
Yeah.
That's off rip. So don't so don't
No,
worry
no, I
about
get
that. Yeah.
that.
So but when she thinks back on it, once she starts to see you as a fellow human and not just her dad,
Yeah.
those are the times where I feel like you would want her to see that you've made a decision that's tough, but it was the right decision and you are allowing yourself grace if you feel like you've let yourself down.
Okay.
Those are like those are 2 kinda separate things, but anytime that you feel like you've let yourself down, um, I wouldn't hide that from her, but I also would let her see how you were trying to be okay with it, because those are moments that she's going to encounter over and over,
Right.
times that she lets herself down, and if all she sees is what it appears is you making the decision and sticking with it without seeing what went behind it, she's going to be harder on herself because she's gonna think, "Well, my dad was able to just make these decisions and stick with it, even tough
Right.
ones, and he seemed to do that with ease," which is not true, you were up all night.
Yeah, yo, real talk.
Yeah.
I
So,
okay. I'll
those
work
are
on that.
yeah, those are things that and also, I mean, she's very intuitive. She sees it already. Don't think you hiding shit from her. You're not.
You know, that I know I'm bad at. Like I don't
It's not that you're bad at. All parents think that they're hiding stuff from their kids, and kids see it.
yeah, nah. She's like, I don't she's like, I don't I know I'm not supposed to ask certain questions, but like there's days where like when you're stressed, like you permeate like an energy, like it's hot around you.
Right.
She like you sit down on the sofa and like we gotta turn on the AC.
Mm,
Like it's like different in the apartment when you're like working in a different way.
right.
Um, so she's like, I know I asked you if you good, you tell me you good, but it don't sound like you good. And and I just know that's and then you start talking Spanish to mom, which means you don't want me to know what's going on.
See? She's
So
yeah,
I
she's
get it.
intuitive.
But yo, it's a process. We'll get there.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I'm gonna figure it out. Um, but it good did come from it towards the end.
Mhm.
We celebrated my son's birthday um in a fun way. He's really into flags,
Okay.
so I asked some of my social media peoples to help out. I hit up some of my homies. Essentially, he's memorized every I'm gonna say like 95% of the country's flags, um a, a wild amount of their national anthems. He's really into like state flags, city flags. And one of his complaints is that we're really proud as people from Brooklyn.
Mhm.
Brooklyn has a flag,
Right.
but it's not hanging in most places. So we
Okay.
went to like over the last like 6 months, we've been to like maybe 15 different Brooklyn libraries, never
Mhm.
hanging. They have books about it, not there though. Different parks, Highland Park, Prospect Park. There's nowhere that it's hanging. So finally, like, I made this post like, yo, where can I go see the flag? people told me that 100% it is hanging outside of the borough president's office.
Right. Okay. Sure. That
So
makes
we
sense.
right. So like you go there, you could definitely see it outside. And if you go there during the work week, you could even go inside and get like a close up of one. We ain't had that option, he's a school. So we go
Right.
there, we see the flag, and like first success, we get to see the flag. Real
Okay.
dope. We had a cool family moment. We took the picture, but his first response was valid. And I agree, even though I was tight because I did mad recon for this flag. But he was like, yo, like, why they treating us like that? And he's right, because the borough office has the United States flag, the New York City flag,
Okay.
and our flag. And our flag is beat the shit. Like, real talk, like, it looked like it was in a real bad fight yesterday. And, like, they were like, yo, you still got to show up for work. Like,
Okay.
it's, like, cut up. There's, like, a solid third of the flag missing. It's hard. It's, like, it's cut into threes unintentionally. It's not a design choice. It looks like a so he looking at and then the other two flags look beautiful. Like somebody like just ironed them. Like, yo, it's prom night for those flags.
Okay.
So he tight because he's like, yo, like I finally get to see the Brooklyn flag. It's at the borough president's office. You think he would be the most Brooklyn of the dudes?
Right.
So how come he don't got the nice Brooklyn flag out? You know, and it's bad. It looked bad. So like, I don't know the reason. I'm hoping someone could tell me. Maybe there's like a story, like, yo, it was like the first Brooklyn flag, and they just keep it. It's like a 200-year-old flag.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of like valid reasons why they would have this messed up flag. So all his birthday pictures outside of the flag is him like, look at this shit. You know what I mean?
Wait, how old did he turn?
He's old. He's was 15.
Oh, honestly, that's kind of the perfect type of picture to have when you're 15. Um, okay, all right. Is in any of his research, did he find a list of places that flags are like supposed to be?
Right. So like we went to court offices, stuff like that like traditionally have it. And they
Okay.
usually have the city flag, like New York's flag. Um but and some of them even having the state, but the borough one was rarely displayed. So we went to banks, court offices, libraries, parks, museums. We'd find books about it. We'd find stuff with the seal of
Mhm.
Brooklyn that's featured on the flag, but the
Right.
flag itself isn't demonstrated much. Uh,
Okay.
my homegirl Zulema, and also we had a comic Heidi Granderly,
Okay.
real dope comic. She actually helped explain some of it. She sent me 2 episodes of a podcast where these people that are really into flag design. I forget how to say the word. Aiden instantly knew the word. He says he's
Sure.
one of them in the making. It's like a V word, but
Wait,
he's like,
I'm sorry. He's a flag designer in the making?
yeah, like he's like he loves it. I forget the term, but there's like a term for people that are like really into flag design. And
Okay.
like I've stared at that word mad times, and he pronounced it without even looking at the page. Vexillography.
Hold on, let me see here. Flag
VEX.
designer.
But yeah, he's like, he said that. So we listened to the episodes that talk about vexillography, and there's like a modern school of flag design thought. And it
Vexillologist thought?
yeah, so they're
Okay.
like, in general, flags need to follow certain rules,
Oh, wait, no
and
way.
straight up. So like,
Okay, I might be into this. This
real
might
talk,
be
I got into the pod like low key. So it was like they're like, like and these are like, it's not just about like being pretty. These are rules that we've noticed
right.
that if the flag doesn't follow, it tends to not be embraced as a flag. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? So he's like, they were like, one, it has to have it has to be simple. So like, if
right.
a 5-year-old can't redraw it after seeing it, it's not a good flag.
Got it.
They limit it, and they're like, as a practice, try drawing the flag in a piece of paper that's no bigger than a a sticky note. Like it should
Okay.
be 2 by 1
Right.
because a flag that's 100 by 100 is still going to be 1,500 feet away. So
Right.
it'll look about that size anyway.
Okay. All right. So
So yeah,
scale. Okay.
scale. So like keep that in mind. Should be simple because you got to scale it.
Right.
Two, um, it symbolism is okay, not necessary. Three, no seals or stamps. A lot of countries get this wrong because they're meaningful in the country, but
Mhm.
stamps and seals are for flat surfaces. Flags are
Mm.
never on a flat surface. They're usually on a
They're
pole.
always rippling.
Yeah.
Okay.
They rippling. If it's so now windy day, it's draped. So like I can't tell your flag because the core part of it is not visible.
Mm.
So like those and no words. So if you have words on your flag, you messing up. So the American flag, the American flag does this well. Symbolism, right? You got the stars, they mean something, the stripes mean
Right.
something.
Right.
Three core colors, simple design, no
Mhm.
words, and like there's no stamp.
Right.
The Brooklyn flag, no one, there's just a white flag with a seal in the middle, mad words.
I
Like,
mean, to be fair, the script, like, that's a lot of state flags
and that's
look
the
like that.
and then in turn, that was his argument. So he was like, I've moved around the country.
Mhm.
Every city and state with a good flag, those flags become noticeable. Like the city and the state use them a lot. So in
Right.
New York, the city flag gets used a lot because it's a much better designed flag.
Then the state flag.
Whereas
What does the city flag look
it's
like?
like three colors and like so like essentially the version you
Is it
see of
like
it,
Nick's blue and orange?
yeah, it's like some joint like that, orange, blue, and white type
Wait,
joint.
are those? Is that really the city's
That's the
flag?
city flag,
I
yo.
truly was just fucking around. Oh my god.
Real
That's
talk.
hilarious.
And it's like the city flag and the borough of Manhattan flag are like super similar, by the way.
That makes
Um,
sense.
so yeah, he's like they have an emblem in the middle. It shouldn't be there, but if you eliminate that, you still see a poor, well-designed flag.
Oh, yeah, no,
Brooklyn,
that's a good looking flag. Okay,
right?
alright.
So he's like Brooklyn does that wrong. So in turn, even though you got this really prideful group of people, even there, like, and their instinct is like, this flag ain't really it. You know what I mean? So they don't rock it like that. Now, as a emblem, as a seal is dope. You want to put it on top of like you
Oh,
want to
that's great
close
on a tote bag. I just
right,
looked it up.
exactly.
It's great on a t-shirt, it's great on a tote bag.
Yeah, they're like you put it on a flat surface, it's a hit. It's just not a good flag. You know what I mean?
Okay, alright, I
so
see.
so we was debating this hard. The whole car ride to the flag. We see the flag and he like, I kind of get it though. Like, you know what I mean? People
Mhm.
ain't rocking it. We having this flag debate at the front of the office, and
Right.
like the skateboard kids is like jumping in on it. They're like, "Word, I didn't really notice all that." So, real talk, me and my son, Michaela and Gabby kind of stepped away. They're like, these two was being weird, and like we just talked with a bunch of skateboard kids about the flag.
That's so funny.
So it was a fun time, but like I do feel for him that I want him to see the flag in like good condition. But yeah, no, but it felt like Mercury retrograde. Like I feel like the flag was in good shape till 3 weeks ago, and we
No,
just
no.
came.
I'm sure that's literally one of 3 flags that were ever made, and then they ran out of ink. If you were to try and print that on a piece of paper, 'cause
Yo,
it's, to describe it to our listeners, it's a round, it's an oval shape, and, that the seal that's in the middle is an oval shape. It's all white flag with an oval shape, and then the outlining ring of the oval is like a dark blue, like a midnight blue, with
yeah,
something in gold written in, like, Gothic lettering. I think it says, child, I don't know what that says. Something up top that is probably Dutch, and then the bottom says Borough of Brooklyn. And then the picture on the inside is a woman in a gold dress, the same color as the lettering in the navy blue border. And she's carrying her hair is back, she's got gold in that, this gold dress. And what is she carrying? Is that a gun or is that like a bushel of flat? What is this?
I don't know.
Or is that a hold on, let me zoom in.
It's and I only know the phrase because Aiden, it means unity means strength.
Okay.
Yeah,
Some sort of weird like axe looking thing. I don't know. I don't know.
yo, she ready.
Yeah, she ready, basically. It like I said, it would look, and that's it. One problem I think is that since it's an all white flag, and like you said, it's just the seal, which you can't see unless it's laid out flat or blowing, and even that, it just looks
Yeah.
like a surrender flag. Like a peace flag, sure, but also
Yeah, you're right.
surrender, more of like we give, which
Yeah.
maybe that's why y'all are so. And also, I think part of the reason that people from Brooklyn are so proud of being from Brooklyn is because Brooklyn is made up of a lot of people who came here from elsewhere.
Word up.
So they're like, "Oh, I'm here in America. Baby, we made it.
Yeah.
I'm a Brooklyn person." Because everybody that I've encountered who's just like, Brooklyn, ooh, ooh, all that shit. You talk to their grandparents, and all their grandparents are from like St. Croix or St. Kitts or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, like there's something, or they're Haitian or something. You know what I mean? But they're all
Amen.
proud to. So I think that kind of plays into it because it certainly wasn't the flag that brought him here.
Nah, not at
Um,
all.
but yeah, no, it looks like a surrender flag.
See, we gotta work on that.
Yeah, yeah, it needs to be a bold stripe kind of thing. But that said, definitely, if anyone from the Chamber of Commerce for Brooklyn is listening, put that seal on a tote bag
Yo,
or a T-shirt and watch your dividends grow. Like because I would buy one.
real talk.
I would
That's
absolutely buy that on a shirt.
real talk. It'll do numbers.
Put that on the back of a Put that on the back of an Averex jacket.
Yeah, real
I mean,
talk.
you're gonna have to make the woman brown. I'm sorry, but if you did that where the only color you change, if it was on the back of like a leather jacket or a denim jacket, and the only colors you change was the skin of the woman to various
Yo,
shades of brown, let me tell you, I'm printing money for you right now.
real talk. Low key, you giving away the merch. Yo, this is the merch launch right here, yo. That
Like,
kind of fire. Yo, that Brooklyn Nets. That's your alternate jersey.
I mean,
Right there.
yeah, do something. Do
Yeah.
something. Brooklyn
Real
Nets.
talk.
Yeah.
Let's do this. New York
Oh.
Liberty, y'all can have the alternates once, when you play in the Nets stadium.
What are the
The
wait, does the
Liberty
Liberty
take
have
turns.
yeah, do they are they also black and white?
Nah, I think are they black? I think they're black, white, and a third color. I want to say
Is
like
it
the
like light blue, not light blue, is it teal? What are
yeah,
they?
it looks like the green from the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, the Liberty,
Yeah,
yes.
it looks
Yeah,
like
no,
that
that
color.
would yeah, I bet the New York Liberty will be on top of using that seal on something before the
I'm
Nets will.
telling you. Yeah, it makes sense. Real talk. Rock it
Yeah,
out just for the Brooklyn games, just to switch it up.
right,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Yo, look at it. We solving problems here.
I know, man. The Nets will never do it. They're in a rebuilding year. They're in a continual rebuilding. They are
22 years of
constantly
rebuild over there, yo.
rebuilding.
Oh man, that
Huh.
hurts.
I know. But
Real talk though. It was a fun time though. It was a good vibe, but it was like it was success and a letdown all at once. Like, yo, we
good.
really found this thing.
That's what he needs to learn about.
Yeah, real talk. It was like, yo, when we found it, like I got like weirdly deep. I was like, yo, this is what life is, Aiden. Okay. Don't think your dreams are what you thought they was gonna be when you started.
Right. Yep.
You know,
Hmm.
you found the flag. That was the goal. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah. It's not going to be as exalted as you want it to be. Nothing
real
ever
talk.
is. So
LB.
now it's on you to take this disappointment that you're feeling and channel it into making the best flags that you're gonna make.
Real talk. I was over yo, Sha, I was spitting gems. It's like, yo, it's all in the journey, you know? Them skateboard kids is rocking with me. They're like, yo, for real, dude. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, let's get into the news.
All right.
Kicking us off, airport theory will make you miss your flight. That's right. This illusional airport trend only appeals to those who have no concept of how time or space works. Here's how to actually travel like a pro. If airports weren't already hellscapes, TikTok has found a way to make them worse. Welcome to Airport Theory, a viral delusion that suggests you can roll up to the airport 15 minutes before boarding, waltz through security, and still make your flight with time to spare, no stress, no waiting, just pure main character energy. TikTok creator Michael DiCostanzo swears by it, documenting their dashes through high traffic hubs like LAX, Atlanta International Airport, and post Super Bowl New Orleans. Some viewers are sold, others are calling BS. So you have pre-check, didn't check a bag, and we're at the nearest terminal. Now let's see you do it when it's not an optimal situation, said one user.
Right.
Yeah. It's a
Yep.
fun fantasy, which explains why Airport Theory has racked up over 400 million views on TikTok. Unfortunately, the TSA doesn't care about your viral moment.
Mm.
The national average wait time for security was 27 minutes and 16 seconds in 2024. If you're flying out of the notorious bottlenecks like JFK, hell yeah, Orlando International or Chicago O'Hare, it's closer to 40 minutes. Google searches for "I missed my flight, what do I do?" have spiked by 70% in the last month per Google Trends. Yo, real talk.
Yeah. Okay. Let me tell you something. Look, I it's not that I fly a lot, but I will say that I have flown more than I ever thought I would as a child. We'll put it
Yo,
that way, because I was for sure terrified to fly.
really?
Oh, yes, very scared. I would plan a trip, right? And I'd buy my plane ticket and I'd pack and I'd go through the stuff you're supposed to go through and I get on the plane and I buckle up and then the thing's rolling down there and I'm like, "All right, guess I'm going to go to wherever." And then those wheels leave the runway and I'm like, "Holy shit, what have I just decided to do?" And now I'm in a state of panic until we land.
Oh no.
And that is how I was. And at some point I started traveling more, and I don't mean like big traveling, just going to other cities, and I kind of got used to it.
Yeah,
And I think what helped me was like reading that turbulence is a lot of the mild turbulence that you feel is like going through the clouds,
right,
or like wind or whatever. And so I'm still very nervous, but I'm like, okay, I'm looking at weather. Oh, it's a cloudy day. All right, so then it's going to be a little bumpy. So now I can mentally prepare. It's going to be a little bumpy. Once I can mentally prepare, I feel a little bit better.
right.
Or when I see what the wind gusts are, I'm like, okay, so we're going to be rocking a bit. No problem. I know that going in.
Yeah,
And so that's helpful. That's helped me. But I will say this, as someone whose home airport is the Atlanta one, or was for a long time the Atlanta one. Um, the way Atlanta does their security, I don't know how this guy, there's no way. It's impossible to do that, to just 15 minutes before the end of boarding, get get out of here.
insane.
Yeah, stop it. Cuz now, and they've changed all boarding stuff because Atlanta does all of their security up top. So
Okay,
before you can get to any of the terminals, before you can get to terminal A, B, C, D, E, F, there may be a G, I'm not sure at this point. It keeps growing. Um you got to go through security.
yeah,
That means everybody got to go through security. Here's what's happening here in New York. You go to your terminal and then you go through security.
right.
That's great. Everybody here at Terminal C, we all going through security. Great. Now imagine everybody at Terminal A, B, C, D, E, and
Yo,
F,
nah, B,
we all going through security. No, so that's going to add to your time.
yeah,
So you all automatically, you're like, that's going to be an hour. And it's not always going to be an hour, but do know that they will, they've started using the drug dogs,
right.
so that slows things up because they route you in such a way that you got to let the dog, you got to go through the little thing, and the dog's got to just kind of walk around and see if they sniff anything. That usually slows things up.
They don't do the little like impromptu date night like JFK does.
What? Oh, where you go two at a time?
Yeah, they're like, yo, y'all walk together in sync, like you've been doing it
No,
your whole life.
no, that because they've got so many people. JFK can do that because it's per terminal,
Right.
even though that slows it up. But they still have the room to do that a bit. But they just have you in such a ridiculous, like going through such a wild formation that in the middle of that formation, there's just an area where there are just dogs just kind of circling around. So you're actually circling around the dogs. The dogs are
Yeah.
just in the middle, and you just kind of, by the way of the rotation, you're going past them. So it still takes a long time because there's so many fucking people, but the dogs are just there. You're walking by them, but it's not like and here are the dogs. You're just like, oh shit, they're the dogs. They're the dogs. But you've already been in line for like 35 minutes and you're sweating bullets. So,
Right.
so that's one thing so if you know that and you understand that you have to go through, everybody's going through security at one, like first thing off rip, and then you got to take a little train to get to your terminal. Yeah,
Yo.
figure that shit in. Don't be a last minute idiot. Just know that that's going to be an hour and some change. Now, I say that, but a few days ago, I flew I left Atlanta. I flew out of Atlanta on a Saturday. My flight was like at 9:30, and I
Okay.
guess I probably got down to security, it was like 7 o'clock. When I say that was the fastest security I've ever gone through in Atlanta, and I usually like to do an early,
Yeah.
like first thing out, first thing smoking. I like to do one of those kind of flights.
Amen.
Um, and it truly took, oh my gosh, like 7 minutes. I couldn't even believe it. And then this was
Yo.
A Saturday night out of Atlanta. And I was just like, holy crap.
That's
It
incredible.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, I don't see where, I guess because no one goes anywhere on a Saturday night, which is not true.
Yeah,
Lots of
nah.
families later. So I ended up being there extremely early because I had to return a rental car. I had like an hour and a half to kill. But I mean, I also don't check any bags. So by the time I get to my gate, I'm just like carrying all my shit on my back. So, you can move slow if you
Amen.
yeah, but I mean, I've seen clips. Roy Wood Jr. used to
Yo, he one of
love,
them ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
he loves to show up like as they're getting ready to shut the door, and he just slides underneath like Raiders of the Lost Ark or some shit. Even with his kid, he does that with his kid, and I'm like, "How are you doing it with your child?"
Bro, that's different.
And he's like, "Add 5 minutes for a child." I'm like, "Okay, no."
Bro, so I'm really chill about showing up to the airport, but only when I'm traveling solo. Going to comedy shows all day, I pull up literally like hour, 40 minutes before
Mhm.
the flight. But whenever I travel with Gabby with the kids, nah,
Mhm.
B, I assume all will go wrong. I show up early. Like, yo, we hit, yo, yesterday? Yeah, that's when we pulling up. Real talk. I want none of yo, cause like on some realness, like I've learned everybody in their family got their roles, they got their strengths.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I genuinely believe like Gabby and I have like kind of figured out a system of how we work. Okay. Like I like to believe I'm CEO and she's COO.
Right.
Meaning like I come up with a general idea, vision of the family.
Right.
She the one doing it.
Yeah.
Like she executing it day to day. And
Mhm.
if something's like, yo, this plan ain't working, then we talk.
Right.
Okay. The only time that flips is at the airport. For whatever reason, airports, they like fuck her head up.
Okay.
So we show up there. She tries to still be like the COO, but like 10 minutes into it, she looking at me like, yo, if you don't take over, We going home now. I don't care how much these tickets cost. Like,
Okay,
on
does it
God.
stress her out? Do
Yeah,
airports
like
stress her out?
her like senses like I don't know if they get overwhelmed.
It is a bit much.
It's a lot. So
Yeah.
like, and I in turn I get real relaxed there. I also think she's been kind of talking to me about this.
Okay.
New Yorkers, we got to talk in general. Actually,
Okay.
this is something Gabby pointed out to me. She's like, I am a New Yorker at my, in terms of like, culturally, I've been here a while, but I grew up in Costa Rica.
Okay.
And she's like, as someone seeing you as a full time New Yorker, you have trauma that you don't realize. One of them, and this is a real convo we had like 2 weeks ago, because I had to do shows in Phoenix.
Right.
1.6 million people in that city.
Yeah.
I do this to her every time I go out for comedy. I take a video of myself in the middle of their biggest street by
Okay.
myself. And
All
she's like,
right.
Gabby, I don't get how these cities work. All these shits are empty. I'm like, Gastor, that is like one of the top 20 biggest cities in the country.
Right.
1.6 million people there. And she's like, I've been thinking about this. And it was like heart to heart. It's like 11 at night. This is me and her.
Mhm.
She's like, Gastor, there's only been 2 times in all of our time dating that you were like, oh, this feels normal. We were in Rome and
Okay.
in Disney World. Those are the only 2 times you felt
Yeah.
the people were like a normal amount of people in comparison to what you've grown up with in New York. Like, that's not
Ooh.
normal. You know what I mean? She's like, you're the weird one that you think the masses of people that is being in New York is normal and everyone else is empty. No, the 1.6 million people is a lot.
You know
You're
what
just,
you need?
yeah.
You need to go to Tokyo. You know
Yo,
how they do in Tokyo? Tokyo puts New York to shame. Do you know
straight,
that they poke people into the train? They shove
yo,
them into the. First off, they're gonna have to give you a car by yourself.
hell yeah. Yo,
They're gonna be like, the fuck? Who let this thing into our fine city? That's where you need to go. I'm dying to go to
I'd love to.
Tokyo. That's all. But yeah, buddy, that's gonna be a place where you're gonna go. Oh shit.
Real
Also,
talk.
India, because the thing is, Tokyo's got like the street. Like India also just has. India has like how many billion?
Yeah, they up there. I
China,
think
yeah, like you gotta, yeah, that's where you have to go because it is. New York is a lot. It
it,
is
and,
a lot.
and like I'm used to it so much. She's like, yo, like low key, like they like beat out normal society out of your head. Like
Hmm.
everywhere else we travel, where like I'm still like, oh, this is beautiful. You're like, yo, this is dead. Like this ain't popping.
And
You know?
also, you're not as used to car culture
Yeah, I'm not.
because I'm thinking like because Atlanta has sprawl, but it's a car city. So you could go to what you've heard is our busiest street and be like, there is nobody here because no one walks. But my dude,
Ah,
I will put you in a car and I will put you at 75, 85 at the
okay,
Grady curve at during rush hour, which honestly starts about 3 p.m.
okay.
and ends like at 7. And I mean, bumper to like, and you aren't going anywhere. And you would last 20 minutes before you will be pulling a Michael Douglas falling down situation. You will be walking on cars. Like
Real talk.
it is not for the weak. You
Yo,
gotta surrender. You have to surrender to that.
straight
And
up.
yeah, so I think that's the other thing is what you're thinking of for busy streets is for
People.
cities where it's built the way New York is, where, and other places in the world where people are stacked on top of each other and everything, but like
Yeah.
other places in the country where they have big populations, but it's car culture. And that's what you're missing because you'd be standing, if you went to Houston, which is always in the top 5 of busiest cities for whatever, and you'd be like, there ain't nobody here because no one's really walking. But yeah, get in the car.
Yo,
Get
real
in the
talk.
car and get on their expressway at rush hour and see if you don't go insane.
I got to do that, yo. Real talk.
Yeah. Because imagine everybody you encounter in New York on the street, but they're in a car and they're walking around. You know what I mean? Imagine the cars instead of being in the street just move. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you took everyone in the cars currently on the street in New York and then everyone walking and put them, each one of them, in a car, because no one carpools, and then be yourself in a car and then see how that feels.
Nah, that's fair.
Yeah, that don't feel right. But yes, no, there is trauma. Um,
Well, I have empathy for her. I work, and she has empathy for me. But we leverage those moments
right.
straight up. She's like, "This is your wheelhouse. You like being around this many people. You figure it out." But yeah, nah. Airport theory is insane.
It
Like to
is
be clear,
insane because they've changed their boarding. A lot of boarding stuff has changed. So you got to pay attention to boarding times because they close the door now. They're trying to close the door 15
early.
minutes before takeoff. So if you're like, it's 5 minutes, you guys aren't moving for it till, nah, buddy. Once they close that door, they will not open it up until we are somewhere else.
I've only seen the boarding time disrespected for the trip to the Dominican Republic.
Mm.
Just because like my whole squad was late. And like I'm not talking like my family, I'm talking like my whole culture, like my whole country.
Everybody
There
was
was nobody on time for that flight. We were like legit like 30 minutes late to boarding. And when I
okay.
tell you that like there was a line of like 50 people behind me, like that flight, if it would have took off, they would have just been refunding the whole flight.
That's funny. Yeah, the flight that the one from Atlanta back to New York that I was on, like, the woman started making announcements early. They changed the time. They like to do. Well, here's the thing that airlines are also doing. They're they're couching the amount of time it takes. So
Mm.
now when I get a ticket to or from Atlanta, they say it's 2.5 hours. And I'm like, what? Why would it take 2.5 hours? Because that flight is a jitney. That like that is like no matter the airline, New York to Atlanta, that's an hour and 30 minutes. That's like people hanging out on the side of it. Like that is such a kids running up and down the aisle no matter what. It's so they run so many of them.
Yeah.
And so but now they're saying it's like 2.5 hours. That's because people move. I don't know what was happening in the load in process, which I know is boarding, but I call it load in. They're just pushing us with cattle prods in there. Somehow people forgot how to put their bags up
Mm.
or something, and people were still checking at the gate. And so there was room, but it took so long that by the time I got on and I was in the zone that's called yeah, y'all, come on the rest of y'all. They don't even have a number. It's literally zone the rest of y'all. And so even then I like we took off so late and still made it back here like in plenty of time, maybe like 2 minutes early based on their time.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Look at us with an early arrival." No,
Yeah.
no, they love doing that. We got you in earlier than we said. Well, yeah, because you padded the time.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing nowadays. But yeah, like I guess because when things do move slow and we don't take off on time and people are late, the numbers look like they are like
Right.
every flight is late. So they're like add an hour.
Oh.
Add 30 minutes to the top and 30 minutes to the back and
Real
that's what we
talk.
doing.
Expectations change now, yo.
Yeah, so now all my flights lately have been early, and I'm like, "No, they haven't."
I'm on to your hustle.
Yeah.
Real talk. In other news, this is why Canada has plenty of eggs, even though America doesn't. That's right. US doesn't, pardon me. You know what? Let's do that. The With the egg prices in the United States at record highs, the U.S. Department of Agriculture is now exploring ways other countries produce eggs for potential solutions. The department may not have to look far. Just over the border, eggs remain plentiful and affordable in Canada. We have not had any shortages of eggs, said Mike Von Massot, a food economist at the University of Guelph in Ontario. We can choose from 14 different types of eggs. Yo, the flex.
I
Okay.
know, okay. Oh,
That's I
man.
knew that it was 14 animals making eggs. That's what's up.
I can't with you.
Real talk, yo. You go wild at the grocery
Wow,
store.
14 kinds of chickens? Hmm.
That's a stark contrast with the U.S., where avian flu and efforts to contain it have wiped out tens of millions of egg-laying chickens, forcing some supermarkets to limit egg purchases and driving restaurant chains like Denny's and Waffle Houses to add a surcharge on egg dishes. Meanwhile, shoppers just north of the border have plenty of eggs to go with their Canadian bacon. Why Canada is different? Canadian chickens can catch avian flu just like their American cousins, but the impact on Canada's egg supply has so far been limited. Von Masso suggests a number of explanations for it. It gets colder in Canada, so barns are more tightly sealed, which helps keep the flu virus carried by wild birds out.
Oh,
Uh,
snap.
Word, good stuff.
Okay, alright.
Okay, good strong start there. I got to tell
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
you, Canada also has fewer free range chickens, which are more susceptible to getting infected. Okay,
Okay,
uh,
yeah, all y'all out here with them free range chickens. Okay,
yo, real talk. You thought you was paying extra for the germs?
right.
That's crazy. Keep my chickens locked up, yo.
Yeah,
Real talk.
no, that's I like them captivity chickens.
Real talk. All my chickens did a bid. All right, real talk, yo. I want to see their teardrop tattoo
Right,
on their face.
exactly.
Real talk.
Oh my god.
But perhaps the biggest difference is that egg farms in Canada are much smaller. So when one farm does suffer a flu outbreak, the effects are less far reaching. Typical egg farm in Canada has about 25,000 laying hens, whereas many farms in the US have well over a million.
Ooh,
In effect, American farmers have put a lot more of their eggs in a relatively small number of baskets. Touche.
okay.
Touche.
Alright, well played. Well
NPR with the
played.
long setup there,
I
yo.
know.
Real
Oh my
talk.
gosh. It was a long walk, but okay. I'll allow it.
Yeah, I dropped $20 for eggs this week. I did
Did you pick it back up and go, "Nah, never mind."
real I'll say this. That is the hardest I looked at every egg in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yo, I opened up that whole joint. I'm counting all of these I lifted them all. I
Let
checked
me
top and bottom.
I hope that our listeners out there, troops, correspondents, please tell me when you're buying your eggs, you are looking at them to make sure that you're not just going home with one with a slow leak. Get in there and twist. I didn't even realize I watched my mother do that when I was a child. I watch her. She'd do it real quick, flip, wah, 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 right? And just
No.
check to make sure. And she's like, okay, great, we're good. And I didn't even register until I was a full grown up and I went to get some eggs and I just did that and I was halfway through before I was like, where did I learn to do this? Why am I doing this? I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Yo.
But it's like, oh, okay, nope, that one's cracked. And I was like, oh, that's what Shirley's been doing. Yeah. So I hope y'all are doing that out there. But did you get like 18 eggs for 20 bucks? Is that what it
I got
was?
was it a two and a half dozen?
Oh,
So
okay. All
yeah,
right.
30. Yeah. It's a good
Yeah.
value, but like that's still wild. Like
That's
20.
yeah. I mean, when you oh my gosh, everything is just so it's just adding like 10 bucks
Yeah.
to groceries like every week. It's just I as a single person who only eats like the same 5 things over and over, when one of them is eggs, you hurting me. You really
Yo,
hurting me.
real
And
talk. Because
yeah.
like I was talking to Gabby like 2 days ago about this. I was like, honey, like right now, if you were to rank the prices of the proteins that we use, I was like ground beef, chicken, pork, steak, and eggs in terms of price. She was like, eggs would be fourth.
Mm,
Like that's wild. Like she's
mhm.
like, steak is the only thing we buy that's more expensive than eggs
Mm.
as the main protein for a meal for the family. Like
Wow.
that blew my mind, like on some realness. Like you tell me I could get the animal that made the egg for cheaper than the egg.
Right.
Like
Yep.
that's bananas.
Yeah. Yes. It's a lot.
You out of
Um,
pocket.
yeah, so wow, I'm sure that hurt. 20 bucks on ugh. I bought I did just bite on a rag and buy 2 dozen eggs recently, so I don't have to go back in there for a while.
No,
You
because she
know,
got. I don't even know because like I like looked at them a lot because like we need eggs and it was the best value at the store, but I would
Mhm.
have forgot. But like when I got home, the receipt was on the first bag, so she
Right.
just said 21.80 on eggs, and then like I showed her. I was like, okay, 30 eggs. I like she was gonna check me like what eggs
What
you
the
buying?
Yeah, exactly.
Like what's going
Exactly.
on? I was like, nah, we got this shit. All right, cool. But like she went off. It was the first thing she read.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a Oh boy. Oh boy.
Shouts to Canada. Y'all got it popping over there. Real talk. Let's start smuggling eggs and cigarettes, yo.
That's true.
Real
That's
talk.
true. With your little jailbirds. Instead of yard bird, I guess we gotta call him jailbird.
Oh man. In other news, 67,000 white South Africans expressed interest in Trump's plan to give them refugee status.
Oh, no.
Uh,
Oh my. Okay, hold on.
the United States Embassy in South Africa said Thursday it received a list of more than 67,000 people interested in refugee status in the U.S. under Donald Trump's plan to relocate members of a white minority group he claims are victims of racial discrimination by their black-led government. The
I
list was
can't I
given.
can't. I can't. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yo.
What the fuck? What time? Where in the multiverse? Like, we gotta. I can't do this. You gotta be. Is this a joke? Is this a joke?
AP
This
News,
can't be
baby.
real.
Yo, I checked this article hard. I genuinely thought, like, nah, B, you ain't fact checked this, homie. That's bananas. Real
Oh my.
talk. Trump issued the executive order on February 7th, cutting U.S. funding to South Africa, citing government actions fueling disproportionate violence against racially disfavored landowners. The list was given to the embassy by the South African Chamber of Commerce in the U.S., which said it became a point of contact for white South Africans asking about the program announced by Trump's administration last month. Trump's executive order specifically referred to Afrikaners, Afrikaners, a white minority group who are descendants of mainly Dutch and French colonial settlers who first came to South Africa in the 17th century. The order directed Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem to prioritize humanitarian relief to Afrikaners who are victims of unjust racial discrimination and resettle them in the U.S. under the refugee program.
I truly cannot. Every word, the next word, like, I don't understand. Do you? I take 2 medicines for my blood pressure now, and both of those medicines, I feel them in me go, nah, B, we can't. You didn't tell us you were going. We didn't know this was going to be one of the news stories. We are taking the rest of the day off. This is insane.
Real talk, man. As a creative, I would have never made up the storyline. Like
Oh
I'm.
my god.
This
No,
is
that's the
wild,
thing. It's all so hack. But it's just
yo.
like what and so tell me honestly, when do you think the last time Donald Trump thought about Africa
Mm,
in general? Like, how are those people? This is that it's when you got Elon in your ear.
yeah, yo.
How much do you want to bet Elon was the one that had to tell him, yeah, no, there are white people there, but we're the minority.
For us,
Poor us.
you know what I mean?
What do
We're
you think?
struggling managing the mines that my
Oh
family
my
owns.
god, I can't. I'm so I don't know, man. What do we do? What do we do? This is so ridiculous.
Real talk.
All of it is ridiculous. There's so I don't even know what is weaponized. It's so much shit. I don't know what's on purpose. I don't know what is there to trick us from the other stuff that they're going to do. Like, there are so many ways any of this can happen. You know what I mean? Like, is this just a story that they're doing to get my blood pressure up while they sneak in some other bullshit that I'm going to find out about in like a month or so? Like,
hmm
what or is this really a concern? Like, I
It's bananas. I this is just like I thought first, Elon's just trying to get his kids over here.
but
I
he, but he don't talk to his
he
kids.
don't talk to them dudes.
He only got the one that he talks to. Oh my god! And he's making so many. They're not going to have refugee status.
Oh,
Pretty soon, they will be the majority. Oh my god! That's so ridiculous. Look,
insanity,
there are
insane.
only uh that I can think of. There are only 3 white people from South Africa that I will tolerate in my life.
Okay,
Uh, I I want to I want to say, well, let me see. Well, first, Charlize Theron,
that's
fine.
the only one I know. Real talk.
Yeah, she's fine. Dave Matthews, I
Okay,
don't even like his music, but he's fine. Um, for this purpose, yes, there was the mishap with his tour bus and the shit. You know about that, right? With the bridge and his tour bus, I guess accidentally, they were cleaning. They dumped a bunch of uh, waste from the toilet in the tour bus into over a bridge. I feel like it was in Chicago or something, and they dumped a
oh
bunch of shit
god.
into the water, and there were people that. Anywho, that's a oopsie, but he still makes the cut. And I want to double check this next one because I'm going to say it, and it's going to sound crazy, but I just want to make sure that um uh that my information isn't wrong on it. Okay, let's see here. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah. Steve Nash was born in Johannesburg.
Really?
Yeah, I knew that, but I was like, let me double check because I will say it and people are gonna go, huh?
The Canadian dude?
Yeah, but his family moved when he was to Canada when he was like 18 months.
Solid
So
rebrand. Real talk, yo.
yeah, yeah. So he's Canadian. So
Uh,
yeah,
I googled famous South Africans.
with the K.
I got like two white folk that showed up that like I recognized.
2 white folk that showed up. Hey,
Yeah.
remember us? Who'd you get?
We see Sasha Petersi. I don't know how to say her last name, but she was in Pretty Little Liars.
Okay.
She played A for most of the series.
Did you watch Pretty Little Liars?
For sure, with the wife, hell yeah. That was our
Oh,
first married couple show. I
oh,
watched
really?
real talk. It was like, I gotta find something that you like but has stakes. You know, I was like, I can do this. Okay. So
Okay.
I couldn't go full telenovela. I was like, I can't do that.
Okay.
I couldn't get into she was really into like all those supernatural vampire shows. Like,
Yeah,
all
no,
these
I can't do
I
those.
can't do none of these, be real talk. Those
Right.
two brothers that be fighting people and
Uh,
they're also diesel.
Supernatural, I think.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one that infuriates me.
Oh
Uh
wow, that's
el-
so funny. And they're
oh,
super diesel.
real talk, them two diesel white dudes that
Yeah,
just be like,
I think that's what that was. Yeah.
that's all I like, all right, cool. Like I get the vibe, whatever. Like
Okay.
I can't watch this. This ain't for
That's
me.
so funny.
But I was like, all right, I could kind of see this being a thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, she was like the girl that died that the four main characters bonded over,
Oh, okay.
supposedly like taking out the game. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean?
Alright.
So I have no idea if she's done anything good, bad, or ugly in her life, but I
Right.
appreciate the work she did on that show.
Okay.
You know what I
Alright.
mean? I thought that was cool. Charlize pops up number one. Like even like
Yeah.
Google knows, like, yo, South Africa need this. So they
Right.
put her up top.
She's the one. And even she has said some things where I'm like, "Okay, girl." But, she's been in like I don't 100% know her politics, but she's done some good work.
Yeah, because like when I think like I've met like certain folk from other countries, and like I think like certain snafus are just cultural. So like I met like
Yeah.
a white girl that's Danish that like I think her heart was in the right place. And then like once every like 2 years, she would say something. I'd be like, yo, let me pull you aside before you say that out loud elsewhere. And she's like, oh, okay, my bad. And I
Yeah.
think Charlize is that.
Yeah, she could be that, but I mean, who knows? But I'll give her enough. B of the D to let it ride. I'll do that. Um,
And who is this? Tamin Sorsok.
who is that?
Also, she was also on Pretty Little Liars. There's only
Okay,
three.
so
That's
where
it.
did they shoot Pretty Little Liars?
I didn't realize she was on Young and the Restless, but I didn't see that.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay,
I,
all right.
I already know the Pretty Little Liars people.
Okay, that's so. Wait, are you only searching?
Those are the only two white folk I recognize. Like the whole
Okay,
list is, like they gave me like 6 white people, then they just went straight to famous black people.
okay, all
Like
right.
so there's Charlize, Elon, the 2 young ladies I mentioned, and they're like,
Mhm.
Trevor Noah,
Okay,
you know what I
oh,
mean?
right. Oh, okay, I guess he's half all right, I guess
Yeah.
we can count him.
Uh Christian Bernard. I don't know that guy. He's
Mhm.
a South African cardiac surgeon
Okay, well,
who
that's why.
performed, yeah, he
What
performed the
TV show
first
was he on?
Yo, but that's a flex though. He performed the first human to human heart transplant.
Oh, wow, no pig heart, human to human.
Real talk.
Okay,
Respect.
okay.
So yeah, I don't know that dude. David Webster was a anthropologist. And that's the whole list. Everyone else is black here.
Okay,
Real talk. I tried. I don't know these people. I know the
alright.
black folk. I know Nelson Mandela.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean? Desmond Tutu. I got
Sure.
you. But
Right. I just it's so I hate that this news story has got us now where we are listing the good white people from South Africa. What a turn. I don't want to do this.
you
um
know, if
mm.
you would like to help us ship out our best white people to South Africa, help them with their rebrand.
Who are
You know
our
what I
best
mean?
we either way, we still keep Steve Nash. Let's
We
just keep him here.
He stays here.
Can I just keep him here? Just for
I'm
me
mad.
personally.
He should have stayed in Brooklyn. Okay, love the dude. Cool
I
guy.
think he's still here.
He lives here still. That's
I
fire.
think so. I don't think he moved. I think he's
Oh.
like, well, look, I just bought this brownstone. I'm gonna ride it out. Park Slope seems fine. I feel like he's still here. I don't know where he's hiding. One day I'm gonna run into him. One day he's gonna show up at Union Hall,
Amen. Yo, real talk.
and
I
I'm gonna
believe.
take a picture with him, and you'll never hear from me again. So many people will be so happy for me. They'll be like, "Oh, she's done. She's done with comedy."
Oh man, that's awesome. His home was listed April 11th, went into contract. It looks like he sold his house. Um, it was in Cobble Hill.
Gastor, you're not moving.
Yeah, we missed out on Steve Nash. I lost connection there. I lost you. I'm gonna stop that. I lost you there, Sha, right?
Oh, I lost you.
Yeah, I know it was on my end. I got you there.
Oh,
We're back though. We're back though. Look at that. Start talking about shipping some white folk to South Africa. Internet go crazy. You know
see,
what I mean?
they don't
And it
want it.
wasn't
They
even
don't want it.
real talk. And I wasn't even saying against your will. I was gonna ask for volunteers. You know what I
Right.
mean?
They don't want it. They
All you
don't
gotta do is
want
like
it.
and subscribe to the show. If you're an Apple or Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars, you understand everybody but Steve Nash. 5 stars, you understand, but there's no one else left. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? I don't know who would fit the rebrand. Real talk. Did I lose it again?
You went real slow and now you're back. I don't know what's happening.
I keep trying to make a joke about who to ship and it cuts me off every time.
All
So I
right,
get it.
that's it.
It's
No,
controversial.
no more. No more.
No more. If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter or Instagram at Silky Jumbo or at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs to sweet to Jennifer Styles, Lori McDaniel, and The Rare Element. Always appreciate y'all. With all that said, I am apparently problematic in South Africa. Gastor Almonte. You know what I mean? With the fan of one and only South African, Steve Nash. There might be more, but that's a favorite one. Yeah, I don't do
That's
a
the
good.
only one.
Yeah. The South Africans
Yeah.
don't do like Dominicans. Like y'all ain't loud about being South African. That's really the issue, I think. I'm sure there's,
Oh,
there's gotta be a second good
maybe.
South African. Right? Like they don't rep
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
that.
You
They don't got like
probably
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You probably have to go to the right restaurants. You're probably in the wrong, maybe in a different part of town. I'm sure that will change once we welcome their refugees.
Oh man, this has been a looking forward to a South African with a K bodega in New York episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace. Oh man, it's the immigrant business, you know.